Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Floor plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about staggered studs, or offset studs. So let's go ahead and start with just throwing down a grid here and make a fairly large one of that. And then we're going to go ahead and draw ourselves a floor. So I think I'll just go ahead with the defaults that I've already set up here, just a basic sawn lumber floor with a 2x10 joist. And I'm going to go ahead and make a fairly large floor here. So as you can see, smaller floors, of course, this isn't an issue, but with a sawn lumber floor, typically, you can only get so much span before, obviously, you can't buy joists that are any longer than a certain length. And in this case, we have ourselves a 24-foot span here, or length, on these joists, and typically that's not something you can get your hands on. So what I'm going to do to demonstrate this, and what typically happens, of course, is that you end up having to stagger your studs and lay down multiple lengths of studs along a certain direction. So let's go ahead and show you how we do that. So right here underneath the joist ply, you have staggered joists. We're going to go ahead and turn that on. And then once you do that, you'll notice that you have the joist length and the joist lap. And so the lap is just how much they overlap each other, and the joist length is kind of the default length or span that we're assigning. Now it's not the total length, because you got to also include the lap length, or half the lap length. But let's just go ahead and show that. So, and right off the bat, you can see now that the joist got split in two, and it basically one on one side and one on the other. Now, what's happening with the layout is, if we'll go up here underneath, you can have a better look. Of course, it's a little hard because we have the seal plate here, but if you look at the grid, you'll notice that normally, the joist would be centered on this dashed line, but we've basically gone to one side or to the other for the joist. So that's how we preserve kind of our 16-inch on center layout. Now, there may be even bigger floors than this. I've seen where, you've lined up like 6 or 7 joists offsetting each way. So just to demonstrate that, let's go ahead and change our joist length here to 96 inches, which is 8 feet. And that should give us 3 rows of joists. Right, and so it does. Okay. So there you go, and you can make as big a floor as you like, and you can also do this with I-joists as well, except typically that's probably not done as often, but yeah, you have that option. One thing I did want to point out with this is that, yeah, let's take a look at adding in blocking. So I've updated the blocking and the bridging and the insulation to account for staggered type situations like this. So now let's go ahead and throw in blocking. Of course, that's 96 inches, the spacing on that, right? So let's actually take a look at that real quick. Okay, so yeah, so we got row spacing 96 inches. So notice that the blocking here is landing, as you'd expect, right where they're doubled up, or they're lapping. Let's go ahead and increase that number of rows by making the row spacing on the blocking to 48 inches. So we'll have mid-span blocking here basically every 4 feet. All right. And of course, let's take the stagger off just so we can visually look at that a little easier. Go ahead and update that. Okay, now straighten them out. All right, so what I wanted to point out was I've updated the algorithms now, so these blocks, of course, are adjusted accordingly. The blocking right here where it's lapping, of course, that block is smaller than the blocks here where you're not having an overlap. And then, of course, as you go to the next bay or section here, this block here right up against the rim joist is longer than this one down over here, simply because of the way the joists are being lapped or staggered. So yeah, it should now all work properly, and the same goes actually for the insulation as well as the metal bridging, and so it should be taken care of even with staggered joists. So anyways, that is staggered joists, and hopefully that is also helpful to you guys with making these larger floors and using solid sawn lumber. But if you have any issues or questions, feel free to contact me, and I'm always available by email or by phone. All right, we'll talk to you guys later, and thank you very much.